It's 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Time now for our interview segment brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And this interview also streaming on our Facebook page. So if you're watching, you'll see on the screen, and you'll hear in just a few seconds, a hello from the Reverend Jackie Greene, who is part of Gap Ministries and Celebrate Life. Jackie, it is great to have you here.
Thank you. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you as well. So let's talk about what Gap Ministries has been doing. I know that your ministry is based out of Clymer, right?
Yes, it is. We moved there in about a year and a half ago. We were here in Indiana for about 7 years, and we had the opportunity to have our own space out there. So we currently reside at 148 6th Street.
Okay, so right there in the middle of downtown.
Right in the heart of Clymer, yes.
Got it, okay. But has it been good out there?
It has been. It's a wonderful space. We're doing some construction in it to make it a little more viable space for us, but it is wonderful. It, gets us situated in a part of the county, so others can access us as well.
Excellent. Now you have a lot of great programs coming out through Gap Ministries. Let's focus on a couple of them.
Yes, thank you so much. Our weekly ministry we do is basically a recovery ministry. We call it Celebrate Life. We meet every Monday night at 6 o'clock. And we have a time of worship and a message or a testimony, and then the second hour of the evening is always about men and women in separate groups meeting to work through very specific issues that they're dealing with.
All right, so that all ties in, and this is actually, and as you said, this is a part of a recovery group. So this is focusing people. I guess I've heard it said with hurts, habits, or hang-ups.
Yes, that can be the case. Actually what I say is we are all humans and everyone has something that they can, get help with. We are definitely biblically based, faith-based. We know that Jesus Christ is our higher power. So anything that keeps us separated from that relationship and moving forward in life, we can help folks with.
So the turnout has been good for those, obviously, over the last year or so at the new location.
Yes, yeah. Actually, our numbers have increased a little bit. Pre-COVID numbers were a lot higher, but we run about 35 to 40 at this time each week.
Well, that's pretty good that you were able to run very well, even after COVID.
Yes.
So talk about some of the things that people will focus on, I guess, during these breakout groups with the men and women each individually talking.
Yes. Codependency is one of the main things that we have dealt with recently. We have depression and anxiety focus. Obviously, any addictions, people do, when they hear the word recovery, they think it's drug and alcohol addiction. And it can be that, but we can be addicted to anything. We can be addicted to overeating, pornography, there are sexual addictions, gambling. Anything that takes your focus from what a normal, healthy life would be is an addiction.
It's got to be satisfying to see the people evolve under this message from Christ to become better people in Christ and in their and in their communities and lives.
It absolutely is. I could tear up, when I think about it. We've had many, many success stories, miracles actually, and just weekly being able to help people and walk that journey with them is such a privilege.
All right, and that program is every week, Monday at 6 p.m.
It is.
At 148 6th Street, where your ministries are located.
Correct.
Now, another thing that is offered by the Gap Ministries is a program called Grief Share, and we've seen this at various churches throughout the area as well.
Yes, it is. It is a national program that you purchase and you run their program, and we offer it on Thursday evenings, and it's a 13, 14-week program. We just started our new series of classes on August 3rd, so it's not too late to get in, with us. You can register by contacting me at 724-541-4875, or, of course, we have our website that you can get on and communicate with us through Gmail, and that is www.gapministriespa.com. And this is anyone grieving, a loss of a family member. It is a very rough journey, and it is a journey, and it is a process. So we help them through the process. And, yes, you are correct. There are many other places in the area that does it, but ours is running currently, and folks are welcome to come for that.
Taking a look at the information you provided me just briefly, it's a network of over 15,000 churches.
Yes.
Do you ever get together maybe either through a video conference or anything like that with some of these other churches?
Well, we actually work directly with Grace Methodist Church here in Indiana,
Oh,
Pastor
okay.
Kathy.
Cool.
And yes, I mean, we partner in that we try to run offsetting so that there's always one running, right here in the county. But we haven't personally connected with many others at this time, but we do collaborate in that way.
So what can people expect if they want to avail themselves of Grief Share?
Grief Share is a support group based type scenario. It would be, 6 to about 7:30 or 8 o'clock every Thursday night for the 14 weeks. There is a workbook that goes along with that. There is a little cost with that workbook, but if they're unable to pay that, we do have sponsors that will cover that for them. And it is a video based. So they watch the video at home. They do, some questions, work through some things during the week.
Okay.
And then when they come on the Thursday evening, it's, you can talk through it. You get a chance to share and hear others sharing.
All right. And again, they can call you at 724-541-4875 if they want to get in on this current session of Grief Share.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And from reading the information you provided me, it says everything's kind of a self-contained lesson. So you don't need to start at one and it's like we'll discuss this more next week or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Everything's kind of self-contained and you can talk about things during class and afterwards as well.
Correct.
That's excellent. So with Gap Ministries, the impression that I'm getting is you're helping a lot of the people who kind of fall through those gaps in the world, whether they just don't get the care they need through traditional means or through other government means because they don't qualify or things like that. You kind of catch everybody who kind of falls through.
Right. Our heart is for the hurting person, the person that is out there, right, that is floundering, that is not, being able to receive that help. And honestly, what has called us into this is because my husband and I were those people. We have had, situations in our life that we have struggled with. And while we have been, even churchgoers, most of our life, we just were not getting the help we needed. So we believe God has called us to provide this space. Our space where we meet is actually a very casual space, a cafe type setting,
Yeah.
a community setting. I don't know if you got to pop in and see us when you were out there in Clymer, but
I've taken a look inside the windows.
yeah, you have to come and visit us. But right, it's just comfy couches, tables and chairs. We do have worship there, so we do have the sound system, and there's always coffee and there's always snacks and water and good fellowship.
I like that because sometimes when people think of church, it can be intimidating.
Yeah, and this is not a church. We're a ministry, and we're just everyday people wanting to help those that are hurting.
That's the message. So let's talk about something that is coming up. It is a 2-day conference.
Yes.
It's going to be coming up in early September. It's called The Real Deal. Tell us all about it.
Yes, the Real Deal Marriage Conference. So the real deal is marriage is tough. It can be hard. We will be married, my husband and I, who co-leads this ministry with me, 38 years here this year, and we've had lots of ups and downs, and I think that's the reality of marriage. And again, we want to provide this opportunity for people to strengthen their marriage. That is what God would have, is to have strong families and marriages, and we know that there's also the opposite of that, where Satan would like us not to have that. So I do have a personal friend who her ministry is called Love Like That, and her husband provide these type of situations for people, and they are coming to us from Virginia to be able to do this marriage conference on September 8th through 9th. So that's a Friday evening, 6:30 to 8:30, and on Saturday the 9th, it's 9 to 3. And there will be content provided by them. And, so honestly, if you have struggles in your marriage, you're welcome. If you have a great marriage, you're welcome. And if you are engaged and planning to be married, this would be a perfect thing to come and experience prior to getting married.
That is, because that actually does sound like it would be a preventative measure
Yes.
at that point. But really, as you said, this is for people who are in any stage of being married, whether newlyweds, or those who are as close to 40, 50 years of marriage, because really, as you said, it is ups and downs, and it is a lot of cooperation, collaborative work, and faith as well, not just in God, but in each other as well.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Absolutely. Well, everything we do is faith-based and, based on Scripture. And so what we see in marriage, which I think in this day and age people are missing, is the marriage covenant is between you and your spouse and God. So it's a three-way covenant, and it really is never going to work in the way God intended unless he is, front and center in that commitment, and if you do it in the way God said, you will have much more success than when we tried on our own.
All right. So let's get to the particulars on this. It's Friday and Saturday, September 8th and 9th. How can people register?
Yes, they absolutely need to register. It is $98. Again, we're bringing in another ministry to provide this, and that would be at www.gapministriespa.com. So that is our website, and when you go on there, you can easily see in the drop-down menu, marriage conference, and you can get right on and register.
All right, excellent. And that website, gapministriespa.com, is also where you can find more out about Grief, Share, and Celebrate Life if you need those.
Absolutely. There are many other things on there that we do as well. We just only touched on these to highlight, so please get on and check us out.
Jackie, thank you very much for joining us here on Indiana in the Morning. All the best to you in your work with Gap Ministries, and I hope that God blesses you with it.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. The Reverend Jackie Greene with Gap Ministries joining us today here on Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank. Our interviews are presented by Marcus & Mack, voted the best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. 9:24 at Indiana in the Morning. In just a minute, we'll have the CBS Sports Minute. We'll check the latest news at the bottom of the hour from the WCCS newsroom, and Jake will be back with a look at sports. Pirates had a 50-50 day, 1 win, 1 loss in a doubleheader. Altoona Curve also in action yesterday, and some